Om Sri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Please try to adjust with my broken voice. Subject matter will be the same. Kutastha. Expression may be something different. We will discuss today verse number 42. Wonderful verse. Evamaatmaranau dhyanamathane satatam krite. This is one word because you can't break it. Dhyana is one word. If we break like evamatmaranau dhyanam athane satatam krite, it's an absolute wrong. So you have to chant it with one, without any pause. Evamatmaranau dhyanamatane satatam krite uditavagati jala uditavagati jala sarvajnanena dhandahe. Together. Evamatmaranau dhyanamadhane satatam krite uditavagatir jvala sarvajnanen dhanam dahe. Sarvajnanen. Jnanena is wrong. Sarvajnanen dhanam dahit. Okay. Evam thus Atma of the self Aranau. So two wooden pieces. Nadi, Nadyau, Nadyah. So dual case. Aranau, Arani, Aranau, Aranyah. So that Aranau in the Arani or in seventh case also they can use. Dhyana mathane. Mathanam means churning. You know how we churn the curd and the clarified butter comes. In that way, dhyana mathane, churning in the form of contemplation, satatam, constantly, krite, when done, udita, avagatir jwala, fire of knowledge that is born, sarva ajnana indhanam, all the fuel of ignorance, the hate shall burn. So thus, when the lower and the higher aspects of the self are churned together, the fire of knowledge which is generated shall burn down all the fuel of ignorance. I will explain it. If we take the prose word, evam atma arano sarvada dhyana mathane krite. Once again, I am telling, evam atma aranau sarvada dhyana mathane krite avagatihi ज्वाला उदिता सर्वज्ञान ईंधनम दहित अवगति ही ज्वाला उदिता सर्व अज्ञाने अज्ञान सर्व अज्ञान ईंधनम दहित. Clear? So I will explain evam word little later. Here I think Aranau has been used as Saptami in Arani. Okay. Sarvada Dhyana Mathane Krite. I hope Acharya has taken it from Patanjal Yoga Sutra. In Patanjal Yoga Sutra, second chapter, third sutra is there. Tatra Pratyaya Aikatanata Dhyanam. Tatra Pratyaya Aikatanata Dhyanam. Yoga Sutra, second chapter, third sutra. Means in Ashtanga Yoga, the last three steps are Dharana, Dhyanam, Samadhi. What we call, see, both three are meditation. There is no other translation. So what we think as meditation or dhyana, that is actually dharana. Dhyan, very rare people can reach. So, but according to Patanjal Maharshi, every day without any pause, once, twice, thrice, or more, we have to sit for that. In Yoga Mani Prabha, one book is there, page number 78, I think so. There you will get the explanation of that. So, with that meditational churning of mind, the knowledge will be created. अग्नि उत्पादन की जैसे उदिता अवगति ही ज्वाला means I am that Brahman, that fire will come in the form of knowledge. Sarva Ajnana Indhanam Dahe. You know how that Ajnanam, ignorance, is getting nourished. How that the fire of ignorance, because a lot of ignorance is there as fuel. So knowledge burns out everything else. Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji never thinks, never told that I am right and listen to me. He has taken refuge and help of Shastra. In Kaivalya Upanishad, 13th mantra is there. Atmanam aranim kritva pranavam chottaranim ज्ञाननिर्मथनाभ्यासात् पापं दहति पंडितः आत्मानं अरणिं कृत्वा. You make yourself, make your antakarana inner instrument as arani, means it will be at down, and avadharani, it will be the container of the fire, avadharani. Then pranavancha uttaranani. So one is adhararani, another is uttararani. Okay. So that is the name has given by Upanishad. The whole thing is called Arani, one wood block. Another wooden block will be there, and they start churning. And wood, there will be friction, friction, friction. And fire will come. So Bhagavan has taken the example of that Arani in case of meditation. So, what will be the Adhararan Antakaran? And Omkar will be Uttararani, top. And if we start churning with a lot of logic nourished by the scriptures, then I am Brahma. That sort of knowledge, that sort of fire in the form of knowledge will be raised. Here, Panditaha means Yasyaha Pandasti Saha Pandita. Here, Panda means Tattva Jnana, knowledge. Panditaha means who is Tattvagva. And with that knowledge, Pasham Dahati, the bondage in the form of me and mine, you and yours, all that bondage gets destroyed. In Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, 19th verse, Bhagavan has told the same thing. Jnanagni karmanam tamahuf panditam buddha. I think you can remember. So, who is Pandit? Bhagavan is telling, who is a wise one who has burnt out his all ignorance through Tattva, through the knowledge of the Swarupa Jnana, the knowledge of the intrinsic nature of self. Clear? So, the sloka is starting with Evam Atma Arano. Evam means Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji has covered the sloka from 32 to 39 through the word Evam. The entire sadhana Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji has mentioned. General people like me, we skip Sravanam and Mananam and directly want to come to the meditation. Why can't we do? Because we have no tenacity for doing Sravana. Because how the tenacity and love will grow for Sravana, we need sadhana chatushtaya. We need to do karma yoga. We need to do upasana. Everything is required, but we don't do. How many of us seriously practice sadhana chatushtaya, the fourfold spiritual practice? No need to tell me. No need to raise the hand, I do, I do. Ask yourself. Spiritual life is a personal life. It is not an examination hall. You will practice, you will get. So if we do sadhana chatushtaya with a lot of awareness and seriousness, then we will be interested in Sravanam. And along with that, we have to do karma yoga, guru seva, ashram seva, shastra seva, upasana, everything is needed. See, example of Arani, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji has chosen. So here he has taken the ritualistic emotions of the people on that time. Because on that time when Shankaracharya ji came up in the society was full of rituals only. So the person who are engaged in a particular act, if we give example with that act, that will be more fruitful. Actually, the entire sadhana, entire spiritual practice process is mathanam, charning, and the knowledge is fire only. Atma arani. Here, Atma doesn't mean Atma. Here, Atma means Antahkarana, the inner instrument, the lower aspect of the self. Uttara, Adhara, Arani. The lower aspect of self should be the Arani, lower Arani. And higher aspect of self, Uttararani, is Mahavakya, So there should be a churning of Mahavakya and Antakarana, the great statement by the Veda, like Tattvamasi, Aham Brahmasmi, like that. And Antakarana, in an instrument, there should be a churning that who am I, who am I, who am I. And if we dwell on that, then and dwell on with the strength of Shastra, what Shastra says, I am attributeless, nirguna. I am actionless, nishkriya. I am nirasraya, nirguna, attributeless, nirmala, taintless, nirvikara, without any modification, nitya mukta, ever free, nirvikalpa, there is no alternative, etc., etc., etc. We have to dwell on that. Suppose you are listening to me right now. Clear? Do you need extra thought production that I am I am listening? Just awareness is enough. When extra thought, active thought is required, when I am disturbed, then one sort of thought should be produced that I am not the mind. All the disturbances belong to the mind. That Mathanam concept Bhagavan has taken from Upanishad only. So the lower block and higher block of food, the higher block is Mahavakya, Vedic great statement, and what the fuel, our anger, greed, likes, dislikes, identification with the body, all sorts of ignorance, which actually the fuel will be burnt out. That churning removes my all sheaths, kosha, and we have to do it regularly. Avagatihi means jnanam, jwala means flame. Here, the fire itself is knowledge. The right understanding is fixed, is fire. Right understanding is fire which will burn all erroneous ideas. Sarva ajnanam indhanam. Ignorance is the fuel which is getting burned, and that is called jnana yagna. Chinmay mission always organize jnana yagna. So a lot of people ask me who are not associated with Chinmay mission that how big fire will be there when we organized it in GD Virla Sabhaghar, and they don't allow any sorts of fire there, sensor is there. If you just lit up one matchstick, the whole hall will start sounding. So people asked me, Jnana Yajna, 6 days or 5 days or 3 days, how big fire? Then a lot of people are there who started preaching me in that form, in the name of Shastra, you waste all the ghee and the wood blocks, everything else. Okay. This is Jnana Yajna. Here we do charning and the fire in the form of knowledge. So Jnana Yajna means the fire in the form of knowledge which will burn my all erroneous notion. But first, some wrong notion, superimposed wrong notion is required. Like I am a spiritual practitioner, I am a seeker for liberation, I am a serious student. That identity is very much required. Student is not the appropriate translation. Shishya. Shishya is not student. In forcefully we translate it. Shishya means on me where there is ruling of someone else. On whom where there is no ruling, he is not he is not a Shishya. Okay. So there where is no ruling on me, I am not a Shishya. There should be a ruler on me. I should allow someone else to rule over me. And that is my master. And he or she is a Shishya who allows someone else to rule over. In, in one class of Tattva Bodha, maybe, I quoted three definitions for Shishya. I don't know whether you have remembered or not. One of them is Shashanat Shastra, who is governed by the Shastra through the teacher. He is a Shishya who is governed by Shastra, scripture, through a teacher, Guru. There is no other way. Shashanam should be there. You know, I can remember my past days. I used to serve a very old monk. One day he called me. He told, because I came from a different field. I joined in ashram as a monk from a completely different field. So it was a new field for me. From outside, it seems that monastic life means um, getting up early in the morning, then doing puja, eating sattvic food, then again bhajan, kirtan, arti, finish. It's absolutely wrong. So whatever, I used to get scoldings from seniors and my guru also. So that old monk once called me and told, That day you will be without any shasana. The day you will get any without sasana, you should feel yourself abhaga, the person who has no good luck, abhaga, भाग्यहीन. उन्होंने मुझे बताया, देख, जिस दिन तुझे शासन करने के लिए कोई नहीं रहेगा, उस दिन खुद को ऑर्फन समझना, अनाथ समझना. Really speaking, in our spiritual life, Shashanam, ruling is needed, ruling of Shastra through a teacher. That is very, very important. Whenever I will be under any Shashanam, any ruling, then only I will be in the right track. If I am in that scriptural discipline, then only Upanishad will talk to me. Atha Shishyanushashanam in Taittiriya Upanishad. Atha Shishyanushashanam. Otherwise, I am a free soul. You don't know, like wild horse in Facebook, a lot of posts, fake posts. We have no idea about that. I am free soul, always listen to you, no need to, and they are dying. That sort of people come to us. Bhagavan started teaching only when Arjuna told, Shishyasteham swadhimam tvam prapanya. I am taking refuge unto you. Please teach me. Otherwise, in entire first chapter, Bhagavan did not tell anything else, only listen. And Arjuna was preaching as if Bhagavan. But lastly, he felt, I need a sasana because I am in a wrong track. In Tattvabodha also there, Ajnanam Kalusham. Here also there, one sloka, Jalam Katakarenugat. Knowledge will burn out my wrong notion about myself. And that knowledge comes in the Antakarana, inner instrument. And when all erroneous notion goes, then I can understand that I am Atma. I was always happiness. It is not that I will look for happiness. What Guru does, Guru squeeze the Antakarana and deduct the Chittamal. चित्तमल की निष्कासन करते हैं. Deduct the dart in inner mind. If you sweat now as much as required, then rest of the life there will be no bleeding. If you choose it, you will get it. If you choose it, you will get it. You are the happiness alone. No need to look for the happiness. Ignorance is destroyed only when there is constant churning of knowledge. I am the self and not this assemblage of mere body. Assemblage of mere body, sense organs, mind, and intellect. Constructive thoughts of this nature, when constantly nourished in meditation with single pointed devotion, then the right understanding and discrimination described in this verse as dhyana mathana, or the churning in the form of contemplation, reveals the true nature of the self as bliss absolute and puts an end to ignorance once and for all. The fire of knowledge generated by this churning very soon becomes a mighty conflagration of all misconceptions due to ignorance are burned down, just as the fire consumes all the fuel and burns it down. The churning of knowledge is elaborately described in Kaivalya Upanishad. I quoted the verse. Even 11th mantra also it has been there. In the ancient days, for the purpose of the rituals, fire was produced by churning a wooden rod on two wooden pieces, hollowed out for the ends of the rod to rest. When the rod is churned in this socket or arani, pressed down firmly, the friction creates heat and fire. This very idea is adopted in this beautiful metaphor. The lower ego and the higher self are charmed with Mahavakya, I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. When this charning or dhyana mathana is done properly, the fire of knowledge is generated. Meditation fans it into a conflagration in which all our misconceptions and ignorance are burned down. Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat, Hari Om Tat Sat.